everyone, this is Heather Cooper of Playing with Paper Crafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Crafty Clues by Heather, short video tutorials on stamping techniques and tools. Today we're going to take a look at one aspect of this card. This was one of the swaps I made for leadership. It was a WOW Vintage swap and quite labor intensive, but I want to particularly focus on the ribbon here because you may have wondered, well, where do you find ribbon like that that's looking so vintagey and worn and old? Well, you have no further to go than your own ribbon stores, and you would start with a piece of seam binding ribbon. Doesn't it look nice and shiny and no wrinkles in it? And we're going to take this and we're going to take and make this old. It's very easy to do, and it doesn't take a lot of time. So we're going to start by just spritzing it with water. And this is just a water spritzer that I have. And just cover your ribbon with water, and it kind of takes out the sizing that all ribbon has in it to make it nice and crisp looking. And then we're just going to scrunch it up, be ruthless. There we go, and you wouldn't know it was the same ribbon, would you? Okay, and then we have to dry it because there's a little more distressing that we can do to it. So we're going to use the heat tool and give it a little bit of a dry. I've got the highest setting on, but just be careful with that. The lowest setting takes a little more time. I have one already dried that I can show you. So you can see that it's dried, and several times during the drying process I crunched it up a little bit more so that it would keep those creases in as it dried. And now I'm going to distress it a little more by adding some water marks on it using the French foliage stamp set from Stampin' Up! And some soft suede. This is the French foliage stamp set. And I took the watermark stamp out of that one in particular, and we'll open up the soft suede ink. I tried Crumb Cake. It's a little more subtle effect, but I wanted you to be able to see it on camera, so I'm going for something a little bit darker. So just stamp on there. You could stamp off first if you don't want it quite so dark. And you see how yellowed and aged that does make it look? So you can just cover your ribbon, spread out some of the other parts of it. Just as it's crinkled too, don't try to straighten it out too much because chances are that's not the way it would have ended up. Okay. Now, we're going to use it like any other ribbon and tie a bow in it. When I'm just doing a bow alone, I like to, I'm just going to open that a bit, make the two rabbit ears. This is how I used to teach my own kids to tie their shoes. Two bunny ears, wrap one around the other, and bring it up through the bunny hole. And it doesn't look like much to start with, but as you play with it, pulling it so that you get the loops the size that you want them, tighten that again, adjust again. Now you can trim off the edges of the bow, or you can leave them long and crinkled, and then when you attach them to your card, you can use some glue dots or some snail just to arrange the ribbon in an interesting kind of crumpled way, and it just adds a lot to your vintage card. And so there you have the ribbon on the card again, looking aged, and it's really very easy to do. So please drop by my blog, Playing with Paper Crafting, for more card making samples and tips.